Hope everyone had a good Christmas, including you, Scott. How's it going?
I felt sorry, something just come up there. Yeah, yeah, no, good. Thanks. Yourself? Nice Christmas.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, I guess this next game's quite a unique one in the fact you're coming up against your old coach. Just wanted to ask, how does Chiefy's style differ from Uffy's? Like, yeah, what's he sort of brought that's been different, do you think?
Um, I think everyone's different. Every human being is different. Obviously, I think Uffy and Chiefy did a great job as a partnership. As obviously Chiefy being Uffy's number two. I think he's probably maybe tweaked things tactically. Um, and he's obviously a different sort of type of person. He was when he was the assistant manager. He was sort of the foil between the players and obviously Uffy. Um, and he's his own. He has his own way. He's got his own nature about him, which is obviously differs.
Yeah, because you're obviously top of the table. Was there anything in particular that's changed that's led to the success of this season? Or like is there one thing that you think's like really sort of improved for the team?
No, I don't believe that there's ever just one thing really. I always believe it's a number of things, whether that's tactically, on the pitch, off the pitch, how he deals with players. I never believe it's down to just one instance. Like I said, we've changed the way we play ever so slightly. We've changed the way we defend ever so slightly. I'd say it's more of a number of small tweaks rather than one big difference between the two of them.
Yeah, and obviously, it's been Christmas and you've had a bit of time off, but how do you sort of reflect on the game against Western Sydney and the fact that the team was able to find a winner and a second goal, yeah, right at the end?
Yeah, brilliant. I think it was a difficult game, high level, high concentration. Obviously, two good teams. Probably not the most exciting game of spectators or you guys to have watched. But I think when you're playing in those games, that you switch off for one moment, you get punished. I thought we stuck at it. We didn't create a whole host of chances, but we stayed in the game. We defended well as a team, and then we actually obviously got the two goals in stoppage time, and that's one thing that we've got at the minute. We've got a good attitude, and we go to the end, and thankfully we managed to get the 3 points.
Yeah, I think that might have been the fourth clean sheet of the season, which I don't know, I'd need to check, but that probably already matches last season. How pleased are you with the defense, and yeah, what do you think's been the key there? Because I guess it's a largely sort of similar group of players at the back.
Yeah, I've been delighted defensively. I think when you defend, you pride yourself on clean sheets. But I think I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I always believe that good defensive performance is more of a team thing. I think it all comes together. I think, when I look back at my career, a lot of the games where you play really well and you're really busy and you have loads of shots blocked or clearances, sometimes you don't keep clean sheets, but you're under the cosh so much because the people in front of you aren't necessarily doing their jobs or they're not really doing the defensive work. Whereas I think we're in a spot now where every player who plays is putting a right shift in defensively. There's big demands on them players, and there's some games that we kept clean sheets in. Maybe Western Sydney might be one where me and Finn didn't have that much to do really, but everyone goes, "Oh, the defense is playing great. You're keeping clean sheets," and I also think the flip side of that as well, where when you're creating loads of chances and the strikers and the wingers or the attacking players are getting all the credits, largely that's down to the defenders and the midfield players building up really well and playing through teams to give them that chances. But the media or the reaction to those things is always the opposite. But listen, it's great when you're keeping clean sheets. It always gives you a chance to win games. And I do feel like when the defence or the keeper has been called upon, we've done our job and we've dealt with situations very, very well.
No, awesome, cool, thanks for that.
No problem, mate.
I'll just jump in. Scott, what was the big lesson from the defeat, and how have you guys been able to bounce back after that? Because you seem to have rediscovered the form.
Yeah, I don't think there was any sort of big lessons really. I think we analysed the game like we do every game. We had a defensive review again, like we do for every game. Even games we keep clean sheets in, we nitpick and we try and make small improvements every week. I just felt that game in particular. It reminded me a lot of the Brisbane game where we conceded a goal very, very early. Sort of got sucker punched. It was their first attack really, and I remember thinking in the game, and saying to a couple of the players, if we score, it'll be exactly like Brisbane. And I felt like we would have gone on to win that game 2-3, 4-1 because we were so dominant. We had all the ball. We had plenty of good chances, really, when you look back. So I think as a player, as you get older, you realise not to panic. It's different if we kept giving the ball away or we weren't creating chances. But in that Newcastle game, I feel like we just conceded goals at bad times. We wasn't getting outplayed. We weren't getting cut open. They had pretty much 2 attacks and scored 2 goals. And sometimes in football, that can happen. So there was no sort of big crisis meeting. Again, I think the staff deserve a lot of credit for that, whereas we just sort of came in, didn't brush it aside, but we looked at things that we could work on. We looked at the positives as well. And, sometimes in football, it just doesn't go for you. And it didn't go for us that day. But credit to the staff, to the players. Like you say, we bounced back. I think we kept 2 back-to-back clean sheets after that game, 2 wins, scored 5 goals. So we're in good form, looking forward, and hopefully that could be a decent lesson for us. But no, there was no big sort of story behind the defeat.
I mean, it's quite a busy time of the year, Christmas, lots of travel, the heat intensifies. How crucial is this upcoming part of the season going to be for you guys?
Yeah, it's huge. But all parts of the seasons are big. But I always feel like this Christmas period, whether you've been struggling or you're doing well or whatever it is, a good run of form in and around Christmas usually can give you an outlook of where you're gonna end up the season. It can really propel you forward. We've obviously made a good start to that Christmas period. We're going to Sydney. We've got Adelaide after that, like you say, 2 away games, bit of travel. But we're a good bunch. We won't be distracted by that. We've got, like I say, good staff around us who will take care of all them things. So, we won't be. I don't think it'll affect us too much.
Cheers, thanks, mate.
Okay, mate.
Hi, Scott. Merry Christmas. Just one from me. You've spent most of the season with a 20-year-old to your right and Finn, and an 18-year-old to your left and Lucas.
Yep.
Just on those two, what has impressed you the most about each of them so far this season?
Yeah, I think both of them have been outstanding. I think they've both hardly put a foot wrong, really. Maybe Lucas's handball, but he'll learn from that against Perth. And like I say, I think they've hardly put a foot wrong. I think what impresses me most is the temperaments of them both. Not talking about sort of what attributes they've got, or they're both at great heights. They can both run. They're both calm and composed on the ball. Lucas has improved early a hell of a lot in a short space of time, and he needs to keep improving on that. But I think what impresses me most is the character and the temperaments, and they're not fazed by things, particularly Finn. Finn had when I first came to the club, he was in the team, he was playing, he was doing really well. Then he had a really difficult season last year with limited sort of opportunities and game time. And then to see how he's bounced back this year and how he's played, I think he's been outstanding. And hopefully, long may that continue for the pair of them.
Cool, thank you.
I'll just got one
Cheers,
more,
mate.
Scott. Do you have good memories
no
from your
worries.
last? Do you have good memories from your last trip to ALeague Stadium? I think it was the 2 late penalty misses from Sydney.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. That was probably one of the craziest I've ever played in. When you look back, what were we down to 9 men? 2 penalties missed in stoppage time. One, I think Ollie saved one missed. That was a mental game, yeah. So yeah, good memories. It's obviously, I think it's an amazing stadium. The facilities they've got there are top notch, and we're going there looking to win the game. Again, from our side, there'll be no big storylines or anything like that. It's Wellington v Sydney, and we're looking to go and get the 3 points.